Hi, my name is Madison Pankratz. I currently am a student teacher at Granville High School, and I do not have the letters for my teaching certification yet, but I'm taking all my tests in May and should plan to have English, ESL, and French by this June, or all of those certifications. Some things about me, I actually went to Rockford. That is where I grew a love for a lot of the things I still do today. I started my love for English in Miss Decker's AP Lang classroom. I started my love for French in Mrs. Lombardo's French classroom and continued on there. I sang in Chambers Choir and did a few plays and grew my love for music, which continued on to Hope, where I got to be on the worship team and sing and work on different instruments that I play. I also grew my love for working out and being active and doing different things through competitive cheerleading and through advanced conditioning with Coach Cummings. And I have just really appreciated the opportunities that Rockford has given me. And through all of that and grown my hobbies and all my different interests, I've just been so excited at this opportunity that I could possibly be a part of that and give back to that. So those are a few things about me. Some things answering the question, what is the most important thing of the English language, is so hard for me, just because I love personally the way that language is strung together and seeing how there's such power in the different words we use and how what we choose, how we say, affects how it is conveyed to other people. And so to that point, I would say I will say two things, but it kind of is conjoined as like 50-50. They go together. I think the most important thing and powerful thing to learn through English is how to write and to speak well. I think some of the most influential and powerful people in history had those abilities. I'd say utmost more than any other ability they had. Some speakers like Martin Luther King Jr. or even powerful dictators, why they got so much power is because they know how to use the English language so well and how they speak and how they write. And so I think it's important to give that to my students in a classroom and give them those tools so that they can use the language well to make a positive change in the world and to go out and do that and be advocates for that. Last question, some positives and negatives, things I've had in working collaboratively with learners in a classroom. I think the biggest thing I've learned that has been positive is just, especially as a young teacher, that I want to continue growing, and that even though I feel confident to enter in a classroom, I know there's so much still to learn that I am willing to and that I want to, and that rather than failures, I like to call them learning opportunities, because that has been a lot of my student teaching, a lot of my times in classrooms so far, and I know that won't change. And everything I encounter, one student I worked with, I think embodies the examples of how I specifically have learned that well. I worked with a 6th grade student who had a lot of home struggles, and so when I went in to work with the classroom, using my English and ESL certification to work with him, I was usually his buddy every day, and the biggest challenge was not his ability to use English, because he was so smart, but the biggest challenge was getting him to use that well and actually put a pencil to paper. I'd hand him a pencil, he'd snap it. I'd hand him a pencil, he'd snap it. I tried things like joking with him, wow, you're a magician, you snapped a pencil in two, and other things. I knew that the most important thing and the best way to work collaboratively with people is just to always be there and to keep showing up. I can try different teaching strategies, but the most important thing is that I am present and I am there in my classroom, and I am prepared to be that person and be that teacher in the classroom. And so that is some of the things that working collaboratively have taught me to do well. The things that I've struggled with is just constantly being open and being an open learner. I would love to talk more about these experiences with you in the future, and I'm excited to do so if given the opportunity.